every day, without even realizing it. You might be spending just $5 and slowly holding yourself back financially. It doesn't feel like a big deal. $5 is just a coffee, a snack, or a quick delivery fee, something small that makes your day a little easier. But what if that tiny habit is quietly shaping your financial future in a way you never expected? What if it's not your income, your job, or your luck, but this one small daily decision that's keeping you stuck? Most people think financial struggle comes from big mistakes. They imagine it's about taking on huge debt, making bad investments, or losing money in risky decisions. But that's rarely the real problem. The truth is, it's usually the small, repeated habits that do the most damage. The kind of spending that feels too small to matter. Because your brain doesn't react strongly to small losses. Spending a large amount hurts. You notice it, you think twice. But spending $5, that feels almost invisible. So you do it again and again, and over time, it becomes automatic. Let's look at a simple example. Imagine someone who spends $5 every day without thinking much about it. It could be coffee, snacks, or random small purchases online. Individually, each purchase feels harmless. But over time, those small expenses add up. $5 a day becomes $150 a month and $1,800 a year. That's money spent on things that often don't even feel memorable after a few days. Now think about what could happen if that same money was treated differently. Money has a powerful ability called compounding. It grows over time, not just from what you put in, but from the growth it generates. Like a snowball rolling downhill, it starts small but gains momentum as it moves. If that daily $5 was invested consistently, it wouldn't just stay small. Over the years, it would grow into something much bigger. What feels insignificant today can become meaningful tomorrow, simply because of time and consistency. So why do we keep making this choice? Why do people who understand money still fall into this pattern? The answer lies in how our minds are wired. We naturally prefer immediate rewards over future benefits. A small purchase today feels real. It gives instant satisfaction, a quick boost in mood. But future wealth feels distant and abstract. It doesn't trigger the same emotional response. So we prioritize what feels good now, even if it quietly costs us later. There's also another mental trap at play. We treat small amounts of money differently than large amounts. Losing a large sum all at once feels painful, but losing the same amount in small pieces over time doesn't feel as serious. This creates a false sense of safety around small spending. It hides the real impact from us, making it easy to underestimate how much we're actually giving away. But the deeper issue isn't just the money. It's the habit and identity behind it. Every time you make a small, unnecessary purchase, you reinforce a mindset. You tell yourself that it's okay, that it doesn't matter, that you can always start saving later. And over time, that becomes your default way of thinking. You become someone who prioritizes short-term comfort over long-term growth without even realizing it. On the other hand, choosing not to spend that money, even occasionally, starts to shift something inside you. You begin to see money differently. You start thinking ahead instead of just reacting in the moment. You slowly build discipline, not through big sacrifices, but through small, intentional decisions. It's not about denying yourself completely. It's about becoming aware of what your choices are doing over time. Think of it like your health. One unhealthy meal doesn't make a difference, but repeated daily habits do. Over time, they shape your body. Money works the same way. One small purchase won't affect your life, but repeated every day, it starts to define your financial direction. It's not the size of the decision, it's the consistency of it. The truth is, wealth is rarely built through big, dramatic actions. It's built through small decisions repeated consistently over time. People who build wealth aren't just earning more, they're thinking differently. They understand that even small amounts of money have value, especially when given time to grow. They respect small decisions because they know those decisions eventually become big outcomes. This doesn't mean you have to stop enjoying your money or cut out every small pleasure. The goal isn't to become overly strict or restrictive, that it's to become aware. Start paying attention to your daily spending, especially the things you don't usually think about. Notice how often you reach for convenience or comfort without questioning it. Once you see it clearly, you can start making more intentional choices. A simple approach is to create balance instead of restriction. The next time you're about to spend money on something small, pause for a moment. Ask yourself if it's worth it, Not just right now, but in the long run. You don't always have to say no. But even occasionally, choosing differently can start to change your habits. Over time, these small adjustments can lead to meaningful progress. In the end, it's not really about $5. It's about what that $5 represents. It's a daily choice between short-term satisfaction and long-term growth. It's a reflection of how you think about money and what you value more, comfort now or freedom later. Because every small decision you make is shaping your future, whether you notice it or not. So the next time you're about to make that small, automatic purchase, take a second to pause. Not to deny yourself, but to become aware. Because sometimes, the smallest habits are the ones that quietly make the biggest difference.